Hi, good morning. Welcome to the Windsor Star News Cafe. I'm Don McArthur here with Dylan Kristy and Alex Denonville. He's running in Windsor's Ward 6. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Excellent. All right. Well, Ward 6, it's a pretty interesting race. You have incumbent Joya Geniak. She's actually out there. She has signs up there. Can you just talk about being the young guy in the block there, entering this kind of world of politics? What's that been like?
Oh, well, you're the first person to call it an interesting race. I don't think anyone's considered it interesting. You know, she's a long entrenched incumbent. You know, she's done a really good job up till now. So, you know, I can't criticize her for that. But it's been great. You know, I love getting to the doors. I love talking to people, just engaging with people, talking about what I'm passionate about, what I think is important in terms of city politics. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, that's excellent. Well, what are some of the things that you deem to be important?
So I'm really about participation. You know, that's the core of my platform is this idea that you know, we've kind of got a problem with our local, you know, at all level of government. Really, there's people that aren't voting. There's people that really just don't seem to think that their vote matters. So I think we need to do something about that. So my platform based on participation is really talking about, you know, how can we make it easier for people to get information? Mm-hmm. How can we make it easier for them to participate at the neighborhood level? So, you know, I've got some ideas around an incentive program for neighborhood associations. So basically, the city would act as kind of a catalyst for neighborhood associations. Mm-hmm. Say, you know, we'll give you seed money to start up your neighborhood association, and then those neighborhood associations can, you know, start hosting events or taking care of public property, which is a big thing. I took the idea actually from the city of Brantford. I did my work placement there during my master's last year, so I kind of took that idea, and that's the great thing about municipalities. You know, you can look to other municipalities and see what they're doing to encourage, you know, a particular type of activity, I guess, that we want to encourage.
That's a great idea, and I think often cities too, they don't like to be the first to do something, so they often look to other cities before they jump on it.
But even in Ward 6, like the one thing that springs to mind right away, right, is the old pool, the old Riverside pool land. You want to take great care to ensure it remains in the public realm.
Yeah. So actually, it's funny you say that. My dad is actually one of the part of the group that's trying to get that Riverside pool open, and you know, that was kind of something that informed my run for council. You know, this idea of community consultation. If there's going to be a new pool, we want to make sure that citizens have a say in what the pool is going to look like, so we can make sure that it's going to serve the community over the long term, as opposed to, you know, just for this FINA competition. And we want to make sure that it's accessible to people and serving the community needs.
And the Riverside Arena site as well.
Oh yeah, the Riverside Arena site. Yes, actually. So actually, I don't know. I don't think it's been sold yet. I think the original motion for council was that we demolish the site and then sell the land. You know, I think there's enough empty land or enough vacant lots in Ward 6. You know, I live on Riverside and Fairview, and I can think of a vacant lot right across the street from me that's been vacant my entire life. You know, I'd like to maintain those public spaces. You know, I don't know what we should do with it. I'm not going to say, you know, it should be a dog park, although I have a dog and would love to see it. But, you know, I'd like to bring the community in and say, what should we do with this land? Like, how can we best use it to serve the community? And I think that's very important. Since we lost, you know, the Riverside Arena, and that was a huge community asset, bringing people together. You know, my dad talks about he used to walk to Riverside Arena uphill both ways, you know.
Bare feet, through the driving snow.
Oh, he plays it up.
Yeah, but for sure, I used to live in Ward 6, and for sure, like that's a huge, that could be a jewel of Ward 6
absolutely.
if they keep it green, for sure.
Yeah. So you know anyone that still lives in Ward 6?
I'll throw out a good word for you.
You
know, I'll do what I can. But also, your big thing is transparency.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And just talk about that. You talk about you know, town hall meetings, minutes on sites, recorded votes, this sort of stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, the voting record is public, but just because it's public doesn't mean it's accessible. So, you know, Councillor Kuzmirchuk in Ward 7, he publishes his voting record online. You know, I don't know if he does it monthly or on a bi-monthly basis, but he says, here's how I voted. And if it's a contentious issue, he'll put a little asterisk and say, this is why I voted that way. You know, I've talked to people, or here's what's informing my decision. I think it should be easy for people to get that information. You know, you shouldn't have to go through meeting minutes, because people don't have time. That's a big thing that I'm hearing from people is, you know, we're busy. You know, there's lots of the great thing about Riverside, great thing about Ward 6. People are coming back. You know, there's lots of young families that grew up there, and maybe they've gone off to Toronto or gone out west, and now they want to come back because it's such a great neighborhood. You know, there's resources, there's services, and it's, you know, it's a beautiful neighborhood. Yeah. So yeah, that's a big thing. People are busy, so it should be easy. You know, it should be easy for them to get it. Another part of my platform is a bi-weekly email. So you say from your representative, you can sign up to an email list and say, I want to get this information, and then your representative, hopefully it's me, is writing an email every 2 weeks saying, here's what I've been doing, here are the meetings that I'm going to. Basically, here's how I'm spending your tax dollars, because it shouldn't be, a task to go through meeting minutes and to try to find out what they're doing. It should be kind of, I don't want to say served up, because that sounds like it's making it, it's not insulting to say people are busy and don't have a lot of time to do this sort of thing. So I think the representative should play a role in that, in communicating what they're doing better. And that's another thing that I've been hearing at the doors.
Very cool. Now, you mentioned that Ward 6 has a lot of families, or a lot of young families that have moved away and have come back to the city recently. That's not unlike your own story. Can you just kind of tell us?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was born and raised in Riverside, spent the first 20 years. I did 1 year at the University of Windsor in sociology. I wasn't sure that I wanted to be a sociologist, I guess. Not many sociology jobs out there. So I took a year off. I was working, was working at Tecumseh Mall, actually. And then I went out to pursue a journalism degree at Laurier in Brantford, so the satellite campus there. You guys have journalism jobs, but
not a lot of journalism.
There's not a whole lot of journalism jobs, yeah. So I decided to go out west. I went to the Northwest Territories and then Northern Alberta, where I worked as a journalist. And then that's where I made the switch to to work for a municipality. I worked in communications at a northern municipality in Northern Alberta. And that's really informed my ongoing work, my door-to-door, my platform. My experience as a communicator with a municipality, knowing what the challenges of communicating with a diverse population are. So, and then most recently, I just finished my master's degree in social justice and community engagement at Laurier in Brantford. So that's where my research really focused on this idea of this deficit in our democracy. What are we losing with low voter turnout? People have diminishing trust, especially among young people. I'm sure you'll be voting, but there's a lot of young people that I encounter at the door that's we don't have any information. Like, what's the point? Whoever we vote for, it's going to be the same thing. So.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely a young and informed voice. Good for you for running. You sort of have intimated that you're in the fight of your life here. That, So, and you're not trashing your opponent. So,
No.
Kudos for you. Joanne's been there. She has served well and honorably. So, I guess maybe next time she won't be there, and you can get this thing across the goal line. But for now, this election hasn't happened. You can still win. So why should we vote for you? Let's wrap this up instead of Joanne.
I would consider, reading that story from Gord Henderson. She's talking about, I was considering running, and then I didn't really want to. I don't really know what the conversation was, but basically it came across to me that she needed to be convinced to run. I don't need to be convinced to run. I'm running because I'm passionate about our city, about our community. I know I haven't been here for a long time. I have some ideas that don't cost millions of dollars, that's going to contribute to a better city, a better community, and more power to citizens. And that's what I think we need, and that's what I believe in. That's what I'm going to keep saying. And I would really appreciate it if you even consider my vote. I know I'm new, I know I'm young, but I would really appreciate even considering my vote. Give me a call if you need any questions. There's also an event on this Wednesday. So Average Joe's 6:30 to 8. We're having an all candidates meeting, so if you haven't met any of the candidates or just one or two of the candidates, all the candidates should be there. 6:30 to 8 at Average Joe's on Lozon. Drinks and food will be there, so it's always a fun time. Get to know people. Apparently the school board trustees are going to be there, so that's going to be my opportunity. I haven't had a whole lot of time to do my school board trustee research, and I think it should be a great event. So I encourage you to come out and call me if you have any questions. Check out my website. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, email as well. So thank you.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this. If I lived in Ward 6 still, you'd get my vote.
Oh, thank you very much.
Alex, it's been a real pleasure. Good luck out there.
My second endorsement.
Okay, there you go. We're in the Windsor Star News Cafe.